as we walk along Via della Conciliazione, leaving St. Peter's Basilica and St. Peter's Piazza behind. We walk past the Roman guards taking prisoners for hostage, and we walk past the cowboy mannequin collecting change. Don't ask. We move along the bank of the Tiber River towards Castel Sant'Angelo, also known as the Mausoleum of Hadrian. Castel Sant'Angelo is a towering cylindrical building initially commissioned by the Roman Emperor Hadrian as a mausoleum for himself and his family. The building was later used by the popes as a fortress and castle and is now a museum. The Tiber, or in Italian, Tevere, is the third longest river in Italy and has achieved lasting fame as the main watercourse throughout the city. Now, they say Rome wasn't built in a day, but today, after the Vatican, I feel like Yashko is going to attempt to show us Rome in a day. For example, he's already at the other end of this bridge. In keeping up with the general, I noticed Rome is constantly discovering old things buried somewhere.
I'm not too sure what the name of this plaza is, so we're gonna find out what it's called.
This piazza, my good-looking self, is Piazza Navona, the city square built on the site of the Stadium of Domitian, built in 1st century AD, and follows the form of the open space of the stadium. This is the Fountain of Neptune, done in 1574 by Giacomo della Porta. In the center is the famous Fountain of the Four Rivers, done in 1651 by our friend Giovanni Bernini. The church in the piazza is St. Agnes, and at the southern end is the Fontana del Moro, also sculptured by Giacomo della Porta in 1575. Just as I said, lots of fountains, keep your water bottles.
We're in some place in Rome.
General Yashko gave us a break, so what can be better than real pizza accompanied by live jazz? The Trevi Fountain, or Fontana di Trevi, standing 25.9 meters high and 19.8 meters wide, is the largest Baroque fountain in the city and one of the most famous fountains in the whole world. Roman technicians located a source of pure water some 13 kilometers from the city. This is the scene on the present fountain's facade. But getting here was no easy feat. See, after pizza, we met up with the group and visited San Luigi dei Franceschi to see the famous Life of St. Matthew paintings by Caravaggio. Gogo went to light a candle and pray, and when we left the church, Yashko was gone. Panic set in, and all roads leading to Rome no longer led to Yashko. Running around aimlessly, we tried calling, but Yashko wasn't picking up his phone. We did, however, stumble across the Pantheon and all the chaos. Cool, some quick pictures, then it's back to the amazing race. In the Vatican, Yashko gave us these walkie-talkie headsets that allowed him to talk without screaming and allowed us to listen. His voice kept crackling in and out like an old ghostly radio, which meant he must be nearby. We heard him say Fontana di Trevi, so out comes the iPhone's map. Goga starts asking people who unfortunately only spoke Italian. Finally, someone gives us directions, and using the iPhone's map, we found our street, ourselves, and Yashko. That should be Steve Jobs' next iPhone commercial. Like lost sheep herded by Yashko the shepherd, we reached the Piazza del Spagna. In the piazza at the base is an early Baroque fountain called the Fountain of the Old Boat, built in 1627 to 1629, and often credited to Pietro Bernini, father of the more famous son, Giovanni Bernini. Big surprise, this guy's name keeps popping up all over Rome. He has been recently said to have collaborated on the decoration. Pope Urban VIII had the fountain installed after he was impressed by a boat brought there by the flood of the Tiber River. The Spanish steps are a set of steps climbing the steep slope between Piazza di Spagna at the base and Piazza Trinitatia dei Monti, with its church of the same name at the top. They are the longest and the widest staircase in Europe. We already spent most of the day walking and running around the streets of Rome. What's climbing a couple more steps? 138 steps to be exact, and was built to link the Bourbon Spanish embassy to the Holy See. The church, Trinitia Diamante, is the late Renaissance church best known for its commanding position above the Spanish Steps. The church and its surrounding area, including the Villa Medici, are the property of the French state. The present Italian Renaissance church was eventually built in its place and finally consecrated in 1585 by the great urbanizer Pope Sixtus V, who via Sistina connected the Piazza della Trinitia Diamante outside the church to the Piazza Barberini across the city. The view from here is pretty nice. From here we hop on the subway at Piazza di Spagna, travel a few stops to Repubblica Station and exit at the Basilica of St. Mary of the Angels and the Martyrs. The basilica is dedicated to the Christian martyrs known and unknown. It was also a personal monument to Pope Pius IV. St. Mary of the Angels was built inside the Frigidarium of the Bath of Diocletian. Frigidarium is a large cool pool to drop into after enjoying the hot Roman bath. The baths of the Diocletian were the grandest of the public baths built by successive emperors and dedicated in 306. Well, if that image on the floor isn't self-explanatory, then I don't know what is. Michelangelo worked from 1563 to 1564 to adopt a section of the remaining structure of the bath to enclose a church. The artwork here is rather interesting, to say the least. We walk through the side streets, turning and twisting, and we end up at the Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore. This is the largest church in Rome dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary. According to the tradition, Pope Liberius wanted a shrine built at the site where an apparition of the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared. Wow, what a day. We fill up our empty water bottles, then dinner inside Termini, the main train station in Rome. We hopped on the tour bus and headed back to the hotel. My legs and my feet are swollen. Plus, we got another 6:30 a.m. wake-up call. So, I'm done, man. Have a good night. We'll see you in the morning.
It's the way your jeans follow your hips, glossy lips, ill-equipped, serious shit, headed for a life of sin, tonic and gin. You get excited when I bust between your twins. When you ain't here, I binge like a junkie. Then I bang that Poo-Tang till it's funky, bouncing off the bed springs like a monkey. We be smelling like weeks of dirty laundry, so it's time to come clean. Can't be what it seems, kind of girl is a girl of dreams that no man is meant to attain. I must be insane.